Imagine a world where you could see Magic Johnson play on the same team as Larry Bird. Well, we might not have to use our imagination, sports fans, as both LeBron James and Luka Doncic got double-digit assists last night and treated us to the kind of vision and cutting we don't often see in an NBA game. The possibilities are endless, and let's analyze how it all unfolded as LeBron made his debut and broke the record for longest career in the NBA. First off, they were looking to get him in the low post as much as possible, usually with a screen that would force a switch and a mismatch. That leads to three defenders being solely focused on LeBron, who immediately looks for Ayton, knowing he's open. The nice backhand pass gets the ball to the dotted line for the little push shot. Same concept in the second quarter forces Cody Williams to guard the post, and you can see how concerning this is for the defense as two players rush over there and they end up fouling him. The Lakers know all they have to do is post up LeBron for good results. Here he is showing pretty good speed in transition before feeding Ayton down low to go to work on Kevin Love. When that stalls out, James realizes he's got a mismatch and backs down. Again, his first look is to the center, since that's whose man is most likely going to come over to help. Perfect lob pass for an easy cram shot. Another simple ball screen forces a switch, and LeBron goes to work on the diminutive Keontae George. The world is LeBron's oyster. He can lob it again to the center, skip it to the corner, kick to the three from one pass away, or patiently wait for Love to foolishly back up here and smart to take advantage of the gap to hit the easy finger roll. Now let's examine how LeBron and Luka interacted offensively, since this will be the biggest key to how far they can go against the elite teams. I really liked how clever this set was shaping up to be. Austin Reeves brings it up and LeBron breaks into a quick inside ball screen. But watch what's happening on the weak side as Ayton is flare screening for Luka. You've got the pressure of a LeBron James post up against a mismatch, which we already saw is immense, plus Luka able to attack if LeBron skips it. Unfortunately, they called illegal defense, so we didn't get to see the result, but hopefully we'll see more of this. Here's a similar concept they ran out of horns with both Ayton and LeBron on the elbows. After the high post entry, Ayton again flare screens to get Luka a wide open three-point attempt that doesn't go down. They ran almost the same exact play through Reeves at the right elbow with smart flare screening for LeBron. This screen is blind as Ace doesn't see it till it's too late, and moving to LeBron's left means he can swing his right foot forward to generate momentum into the jump. He puts a lot more arc than usual into the shot and knocks down the three ball. The offense works at its best when Luka and LeBron have a lot of space between them to stretch the defense to its limits. The inside ball screen sucks three defenders to the ball, which means Ayton is the guy wide open. Luka misses the lob to the rim here and opts for the much harder contested step back three that almost goes down anyway. Ayton is a big key to making this all work with his rolling to the basket. He takes two defenders to him on the Luka drive, and that means LeBron's man has to split the difference at the lane line. Luka finds LeBron on the stampede catch, and while this was initially called a shooting foul, it turned out LeBron had some signs of rust and couldn't finish the double pump lefty layup. Here's another example of extreme spacing between LeBron and Luka, who can then bend the defense to his will with three defenders deep in the lane, opening up the longest of closeouts that LeBron can attack, get into the heart of the defense, and then elevate slightly for the little midi. I imagine having these two involved in the pick and roll is a scary proposition for the defense, but only if Luka is more aggressive than this, or else I suspect we'll see a lot of contested threes that don't go in. I also like how they get the big three involved with Reeves setting the back screen on LeBron's man, catching them unaware and forcing another switch of a little onto James. Luka will get a lot of easy assists this way for sure. Let's analyze how he approaches the defensive end of the floor, considering he has officially broke the record for longest career in the NBA. One thing he'll do a lot of is switch off of any type of pin down or exchange along the sideline. This allows him to conserve a ton of energy by basically zoning up on the block, but it also blows up the offensive action by not giving up an advantage. Once everyone is on the same page, you shouldn't see delays in the switch like we do with Rui, who strangely moves towards Nurkic and not Bailey, giving up a wide open three. Here's another example where LeBron can avoid chasing a wing around the perimeter by switching onto a big. By zoning up like this, he won't have to move much at all on the defensive end, and it can work well when they've got Ayton on the other side of the court to clean up the rebounds and regain possession for the Lakers. And if conserving energy will allow him to occasionally come up with plays like this, it'll be worth it, as LeBron immediately scrams the smaller Vincent off of Markkanen, hustles over to show a hand to the ball, and then gets back to close out and pressure this miss. And an even better example of how he can save himself for opportune moments is with this steal in the open court. saving it just before he wound up in the stands to help extend their lead in the fourth. And you don't even need that kind of effort for the opportunity to win with PrizePicks, where all you have to do is pick more or less in a variety of categories for a ton of different sports. It's the only app that offers stacks, where you can pick the same player up to 3 times in the same lineup. Here are my picks for today. They've got a special SGA max discount. He's just got to score at least 1 point. Then I'm thinking Donovan Mitchell will struggle against the Rockets' formidable defense, and I think Reed Shepherd will continue his scorching shooting. Follow me on the app so you can just copy my lineups, something you'll benefit from during basketball season. Best of all, download the PrizePicks app today and use code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. PrizePicks, it's good to be right. While there are plenty of ways LeBron can minimize his defensive issues, there were some instances that do need to get cleaned up from last night. He's a step behind the play when he doesn't realize his man has already started cutting behind Nurkic for the handoff. At least Ayton got a hand up, but this was an open shot to a pretty good shooter. Similar play as he's a step and a half behind on the blind pig action as they throw the ball behind him to Nurkic and the shooter gets a clean look despite the contest by Luka at the end. Here's an example where a closeout was in order, but LeBron is willing to make a play on the ball to save himself from burning that extra energy. If it doesn't pay off, the shooter gets a practice shot. The Jazz are fun to watch when they have the ball, and this is an action that is tough to defend as they backscreen LeBron to the elbow. It's possible he expected a switch as he looks displeased with Gabe Vincent after it resulted in an easy dunk on the back cut. An issue with switching so much is that each switch is a new opportunity to blow the coverage. He top locks his man to prevent the pin down, then switches onto the screener, leaving him out of position to defend the cut to the basket. And he switches again to nicely deny the pass back to the wing, but asking Vincent to cover for him on this cut of a big man is a step too far, as it compromises the defense, and they're lucky that Vincent is able to deflect the ball out of bounds before the Jazz can score the layup. One thing they need to be concerned with is if LeBron finds himself on a shooter and they set an off-ball screen on him with a big. That defender will naturally be towards the paint, and if LeBron wants to go under, they're going to give up high-quality looks. However, the contest did allow him to leak out, where we get the extremely fun long outlet from Luka right on the money, and then watch how LeBron throws a perfect lead pass to an open area that allows Reeves to fill the lane in stride for an easy layup and another assist. It looks like JJ will lean heavily on horn sets for when Luka and LeBron are out there together, and they can vary where these two start to make it harder to guard. The idea behind this action is to get LeBron rolling to the hoop so Luka can hit him from the high post, and I can practically guarantee they'll get this in the next game. But it does lead to LeBron setting Luka up on a skip to a 3-ball that doesn't go in, but does ricochet right to Marcus Smart on that right wing, and he's able to knock the open jumper down. With Luka out and Reeves in, they run James out of that right elbow, and after the back screen that did see Austin get open under the basket, they run an elbow pick and roll, which draws 2 defenders to the ball. Now, the Lakers have a severe advantage, and it's up to LaRavia to pass fake, get right to the rim, and while he misses the layup, he directly causes the putback from Ayton. Just like Luka wanted LeBron to roll quick and hard to the rim and hit him with the pass, LeBron wants LaRavia to use his advantageous position underneath the defender to cut. But credit to the defense for recovering in time, so the Lakers flow into that same ball screen at the slot. LaRavia does most of the work from there with a baseline drive that creates a long closeout that Reeves attacks into the lane for the little runner. And LeBron ended this game early with a nice run of assists that began at the end of the third quarter as he took his time despite the clock running down under 10 and then firing one of his patented one-handed baseball passes about 60 feet across the court. It wasn't on target, but this was how bad the Jazz defense was all night that it didn't matter one bit as Vincent calmly knocks down the wide open shot at the buzzer. And LeBron ended this game early with a nice run of assists to start the fourth quarter with Luka on the bench. Here's another horn set that starts with a double ball screen across the top. LeBron's rust was evident with his off-target swing pass, but he got another chance as the shot clock started winding down when Jackson Hayes tags Cody Williams and then short rolls. The little bounce pass sneaks between the defenders, and you have to be tall and mobile to be able to gather the ball at the free throw line and without dribbling it, fire the ball hard through the iron like this. Here's that same flare screen for LeBron when he hit that 3-ball earlier. Lowry realizes that and chases over the top to be able to take away the shot. And LeBron's eyes are on this defender. Once he sees the rotation over, the ball is on its way to Vincent, who attacks the X out with a beautiful split on the catch and then step back into open space for the 3 to make it an 8-point lead. Now they're just spamming horns, this time with LeBron hiding out in the left corner. If Reeves curls the flare screen into the lane, that triggers Ayton to turn around and pin down for LeBron. This flows into a two-man game on the left side, and if we're gonna get the Magic Johnson version of LBJ, I'm all for it. The gorgeous no-look backhanded slip to the rolling big man leaves him with nothing else to do but the George Mikan-style dunk. As the game started getting loose, we were treated to one of the nicest sequences of all. First off, Austin Reeves does take a surreptitious glance over his left shoulder, but I'm not sure he ever saw LeBron chugging up from the rear. So I wonder if he used his hearing to time this pass absolutely perfectly that hits LeBron right in his hands, and it's all kinds of impressive. And LeBron saw his blind flip and raised him an underhand shovel of his own, which was almost as blind but also led him perfectly as he threw it to an area in front of Ayton, so all he had to do was lay it in. And of course, to seal in his practice, they'll go back to that original pick and roll switch to post up on a mismatch. Would it kill Nurkic to aggressively double team and limit LeBron's vision? But it's Keontae George that gets completely lost on the Laravia baseline cut, and it's Nurkic who compounds the error by fouling the dunker. And that's all she wrote for LeBron's historic night as he holds the title for longest career, and it shows no signs of ending soon. The real question is, when will the Lakers season end if he plays Magic to Luka's bird?